Hello YouTube, Cardfight Maestro here. Welcome back. Today I got some exciting stuff in the post. As you can see, I got this really cool playmat. I'm just going to pick this up so you can see it in all its glory. It's the new costume change ALK playmat. I got it imported from Singapore. It's so good. It's absolutely massive is my only comment there. It's 30 centimeters deep and 55 centimeters long, and I also got the matching sleeves to go with it. I've already got a Bermuda deck sleeved up, so I will be changing it over, but it unfortunately doesn't include costume change ALK. I'm going to be using this mat for most of my videos. I expect it's a completely different type of mat to what I've used before. Same base as you can see, but the top is just a much higher quality if you ask me. So I'm going to get started. This is going to be my Eternal Idol Pacifica deck. I play this deck a lot different to a lot of other players. I don't make the logical choice of which cards to use. I don't use the Perla or Perle sisters. I have tested with them, and don't get me wrong, they're incredibly good cards. But the way I play this deck is incredibly conservatively until I can push the game almost. I'm just going to go straight into a profile now. My starter is Prism Smile Koro's Forerunner, and it's a costless ability. When another of your Bermuda Triangle is returned to the hand from rearguard, you can return this unit to your hand. It's just a way of getting an extra 10k guard. I've tried using Weddle, I think it's Weddle anyway, the grade 3 searcher, but I'm really liking Koro. You do bounce semi-often, so yeah, really good card. And my trigger lineup, obviously 4 heal. I use the Prism Miracle Timor. And then I play quite an aggressive trigger lineup. There's 4 crit, 10 crits. It's a grinding deck if I'm honest. It's quite slow to set up, but once you set up you've already gained control and you should win they're out, but the 10 crits do help as well. And because it's quite slow and grinding, I do run 2 copies of Prism Miracle Adria, who's the draw trigger. So that's my trigger lineup. 10 crit, 4 heal, 2 draw. Now for grade 1s. Like in every deck I run almost. 4 perfect guards. I've only got 1 copy of the newer Sentinel, but they all do the same job, so 4 of those. 4 8Ks. I like the newer art of the EBO6, I think it is. Well, it doesn't really matter anyway. It's an 8K. This is where my builds start getting a bit different. I run 3 copies of Prism Image Clear. It's a 7K, which is beneficial to begin with. And when it's bounced from the rear guard, you may pay the cost, which is a Soul Blast 1, which isn't a problem at all. And then you can choose one of your Bermuda Triangle units, and that unit gets plus 4k. 2 copies of Sweet Harmony's Mona. This is a 7k as well. Counterblast 1. When you drop it, pay the cost, bounce another of your rear guards. So you can get Koro back to your hand for free by bouncing a Clear or the next card potentially. I run 2 copies of the Bermuda Triangle Dark Cat Prism on the Water Myrtoa. When it's placed on Vanguard or rear guard, you and your opponent may draw a card if you have a Bermuda Triangle Vanguard. So 7k is just to make up for the lack of draw power because I only run the 2 draws. Grade 3s. I only run 3 10Ks. It is what it is. I find her very good, but 4 has always been clunky in this build because I also run 3 copies of the Flute, which is the pseudo 11k attacker. If you have 4 or more Bermuda Triangle rear guards, it gains plus 3k. So that's why I only run the 3 10Ks, because I was running 4 and 2, but it just didn't seem to work consistently enough for me. And then to match up with the clears, I run 3 copies of Celtic. It's the same ability, plus 4k when you bounce it, Soul Blast 1. And my last bouncing unit is, I run 2 copies of Girls Rock Rio. It's a Counterblast 1. When this unit is bounced from a rearguard to a hand, you may pay the cost. If you have a Bermuda Triangle Vanguard, you may Soul Charge 1 and draw 1. It's just another draw option. I wish she was 9k, because to hit 16k, which isn't even a huge number anymore, I need an 8k behind her, or a 7k, which is more achievable with Celtic. But that's the reason I only won 2 Rio. I used to be running 1, but I never saw her enough, and when I did see her, I ended up having to ride her. So bumping her up by 1 seemed the logical option. Grade 3, so I obviously run Top Idol Pacifica. I run 4 copies of her. During your turn, if you have 4 or more rear guards, Bermuda Triangle rear guard, she turns into a 13k, so she's a pseudo cross ride essentially as well. I do like using a Mega Blast, but her auto skill, it's like all the Mega Blast units, is beginning of your turn, Soul Charge 1, draw 1, choose a card from your hand and put it on the bottom of your deck. All of them have got a different one. This is just the Bermuda Triangle one. Her Mega Blast is Soul Blast 8, Counter Blast 5. I have actually used it a few times and it's won me the game. When this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 3 Bermuda Triangles, call them to separate rear guards and shuffle your deck. So you can essentially call another column and another attacker or a booster if you needed one. If you went Vanguard, rearguard Vanguard, and then you were planning to attack with your final rearguard column and it didn't have a booster, which has happened before for me. So 4 copies of her and 3 copies of the Eternal Idol Pacifica. 4 isn't necessary, I only run 7 grade 3s. She's a cross ride 11k, so she turns into a 13k if I've got Pacifica in Soul. Before, I had to ride her as my grade 3 ride, and then I bounced Girls Rock Rio, Soul Charged 1, and it was the Top Idol Pacifica, and it just turned into a 13k and just really good. Her limit break is very costly. It's Counterblast 3. It's the same cost as King of Knights Alfred, but when her attack, this unit attacks a Vanguard before you drive check, you may pay the cost, Counterblast 3. When you do, choose up to 2 of your Bermuda Triangle rear guards and return them to your hand, so you can bring back Celtic and Clear or Miyatoa or Ankoro for free. And then you search for 1 unit from your deck and superior call it to rear guard and shuffle your deck. It's a really solid thing. You get a 4th attack out of it. I wish she was Counterblast 2. The most I've ever used her in one game is twice, and that was because of a lucky heal trigger. But she is what she is. She's a good card. A lot of people prefer the Prism deck to this, and I can understand why. A lot of people don't find this deck consistent or good in any way, but I am a big fan of it. Once you've learned how to play it and how to grind out your games, you develop control incredibly early, and from that you just slowly beat your opponent down. You can push a lot of resources into your opponent's rear guards with this deck. I've held an opponent at 3 damage before for about 6 turns, and because I've got so many crit triggers and such, I've been able to guard competitively throughout those turns. And during those turns I was just bullying my opponent's rear guards. I was only swinging at the Vanguard with my own Vanguard. I wasn't using my rear guards for it. And it was just forcing resources out of their hands continuously. But that's the deck. Once I hit a few more subscribers, I might give away these sleeves. They're obviously still brand new. But let me know if you're interested, and once I hit my milestone of, let's say, 30 subscribers, I'll do a giveaway and someone can win these. Open to anyone in the world, obviously, but yeah. So that's the deck. Please let me know what you think. If anyone wants any hints on this deck, just send me a PM I've had a few PMs recently and I really enjoy talking to you guys and such. Just make sure to leave a comment, let me know what you think, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and make sure to keep commenting and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.